What's up, man?
I like
What's going on?
I like your lights in the background.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I fuck with the lights super tough. I love my little stars come in and out. It's cool. I like it a lot. The colors change. It's tight. What's up, man?
Not much. I'm just, chilling in Finland. Chilling in Finland.
Chilling in Finland sounds like a vibe and sounds.
Are you freezing or yeah, you're freezing?
No, if anything, it's warm in here, dude. It's warm as fuck in here. That's why I have a fucking tank top on. It's fucking. I have an AC and a fan. I turned everything off just so that the noise doesn't like. It's not chill at all.
Sorry, I just turned off my Wi-Fi because sometimes that causes the stream to glitch.
Oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha. What's up, dude? Like, what do you got? What's up? You always have a topic. What do you got?
Yeah.
I got. Ah. Ah. Ugh. Here we go. Uh, knocking my shit over
I got my
here.
guitar as normal, and I'm still missing the old string here.
Fucking knocking all my shit over here. Hold on. I got my guitar. I got my guitar. We're good.
Yeah. Well, we will play. We will play. But first, I just want to say it's great to see that we're here. We're back. We're doing the live stream. I'm really happy for everybody who's watching this live. It's amazing, and of course, we will repost this so people can watch this later. And I do have a really good topic today that I wanted to discuss
Man,
before we get into jamming and stuff.
fuck yeah, dude.
Um,
What do you got, man?
okay, so it's been a while, but there's a lot has been going on in so many fronts. But one front specifically, it comes to what are your thoughts on two-part question on content creating today in general, and more specifically for music artists, what is it about content creating that you feel is like the narrative for today, or does it have any place in a narrative, or what are your thoughts on content creation today?
Dude, honestly, like, I feel like I just got like really lucky and I was doing the right type of content at the right time. Um, I, like, I really think that, I mean, it really, like, with content creation in general, it's kind of just like, just keep making stuff, like, that's really my only advice, 'cause that's what I did, like, I just kept making stuff. And, you know, maybe you do like a certain sort of video and you get like a couple more comments or like a few more thousand views or 100 views or whatever with that sort of video. So you stick to that. I mean, like, it's just like content creation now, I feel like is so, because it was really oversaturated like 5, 6 years ago. And it's even more so now. So it's like I really don't know. I really don't know like what to say solidly with that, because it's kind of just like just make what you want to make. Like that's what I did. It's content content creation is it's kind of a weird beast. It really is. It's very different from like if you're a musician that makes content. I feel like the content side of things is very different from the musician side of things, and
Yes.
I feel like it's really easy to get in this weird spot where you're like, I make music and I make stuff that I like and that I think people will like, but I'm making videos for online, so I feel like kind of uh, it kind of obscures that a little bit. It's kind of like, well, I'm making videos, so I got to make stuff that people will like. But if music is what you're doing and you're using content creation as the way to get it out to people, um, then it's like it doesn't really matter. It's like it's your music is what defines you. Like your music is what's like that's what you're sharing to the world. And you know, just because it's like a video format and you're doing it online for like YouTube and Instagram and all these things, it's like, you know, it really like if you're making stuff that people like, it really doesn't matter. You know, like it's just make what you want to make. Like that's basically my point. Like just make what you want to make. I don't really like. I feel like I got really lucky, and it was just like right place, right time, right sort of content. Like just make what you want to make, dude. Like just make what you want to make. You know, fuck everybody else. You know, pay attention to like what's doing well, what's not. Like you can always make like business decisions and like, you know, calculated, you know, decisions as far as like what's doing well and what's not. But um, I don't really think there's one like patented fucking cookie cutter way to do it. It's just, you know, just make what you want to make.
Well, you bring up a lot of good points, and I would like to go back through some of them.
Sure.
And as somebody that is, well, first off, let's give Mac a congratulations, because you, when we talk about content creating, you have, I guess, I would say that you have come to that place where I think a lot of content creators would like to get, as far as, like, for example, you have, what is it, over 11 million views on one of your recent video posts, right?
Yeah, it depends on what platform, but on here, yeah, like the last one I did that like blew the fuck up was
It blew up.
The Disturbed fucking It Wasn't Me. Yeah, that was the last one that like blew up. That shit blew up on everything, like on every platform. Like platforms that I don't even have an account for.
Okay.
That shit went viral. It was crazy.
Well,
yeah. It
well,
was crazy.
we're fortunate and lucky enough to be talking to you about it, because sometimes it's not easy to get a hold of people that are involved with such big numbers. And so what I'm saying is, okay, this is a better way to put it. You've achieved the goal that I think a lot of people who are creating content for the sake of getting views and exposure, you've achieved that. Okay, so now we're hearing it from you directly, which is great. And
well,
first
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And it's like, dude, it's really just like I just made what I want to make. You know, like I just made it whatever the fuck I wanted to make. Like you know, it was very it was a shock as much to me as it was everyone else that knows me personally. It was like, whoa, he's fucking doing super well on social media.
For sure.
Like it was just,
and
it was just
what I like to say.
I don't want to say that it's. I don't want to say that it's just luck. Like luck has. I think we probably talked about this a little bit like previously, but you know, like a lot of people say that like, oh, it's about luck. It's about, you know, you just got to get lucky, and it's like, you know, I mean, there is luck involved in it, but you're not going to get luck if you don't continuously post and take it really seriously. You know, like luck isn't going to come to you if you don't post all the time and don't post consistently and don't try to, like, every time you make a video, you know, you try to make, like, what can I do to make my next video better? You know, and it's like, and if you don't take it that seriously, then, you know, it's not going to happen. That luck isn't going to come to you. But, you know, it's really hard to talk about this without talking about luck at all, because I think that luck definitely is a part of it. But like I said, like, it's like the luck isn't going to come to you if you're not like working really hard and posting all the time and taking it seriously. You know?
Okay, well, we have spoken about this on some of our previous podcasts, and you said exactly the same thing. Basically, luck plays a factor in certain things, but you're not going to get lucky if you're not constantly doing something to be lucky with. So you're right when you say that. I agree with you. And you also said that you are posting things that you want to post because that's what you want to do. You don't really care if certain things fruition from what you're doing. You're doing it because that's what you want to do. And for you in particular, like it's doing very well. And I like to give people congratulations when congratulations are due. I think a lot of music artists specifically today, when they see other music artists doing much better, instead of getting, feeling I'm really happy for them and using that as a way to want to strive and move forward and do better, I think a lot of people tend to be like, they think negatively and they want to put that person down because they think that he's only doing this or she's only doing this and you could do better. And I disagree. I think we should congratulate the people that are doing really well when they're doing really well, because you work very hard to get to what you're doing, whether it's doing something strategically or doing something because you have a passion for it. Either way, people are working very hard to do those. And you said also earlier that content creation is a beast on its own. And I would like to go back to that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Because, for example, and before you answer, I was watching a content creator by the name of Rick Beato. He's an older gentleman who makes some pretty good
Beato,
videos.
yeah, I know Rick Beato.
So,
yeah.
And one of his posts where he was saying back when he was young, because he's in his 60s, I guess now, that he would have to save up for weeks to go to the record store to buy an album, a vinyl album. And it was something that he had to save up money for one single vinyl album. He would have to save up money and go to the store to get like a Led Zeppelin, let's just, for example, say that. Now, when we talk about content creation as being a beast, think about from there till now, people would spend a week or more saving up money to buy one single album. And today, you can be hit by a barrage of music artists and content creators in the matter of 3 seconds of scrolling for free. And it's just when you say content creation is a beast on its own, let's dive into that for a moment, because I'm kind of interested in what is going on today with like content creation in general and how that pertains to a music artist with their content, and how much of that do we want to give up for free, and how much of that should be something where people should actually feel like they worked hard to save for it, and then it makes it more valuable, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, and I think that like with the Rick Beato stuff, like he definitely has a lot of good points about. I mean, it's just like music is very different now. Like the music industry, like the way that people consume music is very different now, obviously. But it's like, it's kind of like, I really don't have a lot of experience, making music and releasing music during a time where that wasn't the case. So I feel like I don't really have much to say about, like, I can't really compare either, because it's just like all that I've known is just like I put music up and people go stream it on Spotify if they want to. And like, has that led to musicians not making as much money? Like, absolutely. But it's kind of just like, I that's really all that I know. Like, all that I know is just like posting something online and then like, hoping that people want to go listen to it.
And that's not my point, because when I watch people that are older talking about that, I actually feel a way where I'm just like, well, I feel like talking into the screen saying like, yeah, but Rick, things aren't like this. It's 2024, and there's a huge amount of music artists today that don't know what you're talking about. But what I do like when he makes a post like that is it does put things into perspective, because when a music fan or a music listener puts in some sort of time or effort to obtain some of the music that an artist is making, and they feel like I worked hard to get to that, it makes the music more valuable, in my opinion. And I'm just trying to think what would be if anything, something that people could do today as music creators, as music content creators, to achieve that same goal. Because actually, bands do put out vinyl albums today, and they
They
do
do,
cost a
yeah.
lot of money.
They do.
So
Absolutely.
so we're still there. Like, it's not too far off, but at the same time, because of so many ways where maybe that Led Zeppelin album that he bought when he was 13 years old or whatever, he didn't know that as much behind the scenes, except for if he were to read them in magazines, probably, because magazines were pretty big back then, I guess. Rolling Stones would write articles on how Led Zeppelin worked in the studio, and you could learn about that because you'd have to read about it. But now you can go to their Instagram page, and if it's a band that's, pretty relevant today, you'll most likely get to see like every member in the band making live streams or doing content creation about what they're up to, what they ate for breakfast. Way more insights than you would have back then. But that's where we're at today. So I don't like to compare, but I do like to sit like it was a beautiful time, and I believe that it's a beautiful time now, even better possibly, if we don't let this beast get the best of us. Because I think a lot of people are making content for the sake that they feel like they just need to do it, since it is something that is necessary if you want to be an artist that gets more exposure. And I do see, and I was talking to an artist today who has a very small Instagram channel, and they just don't care about getting exposure. They're just true artists in the form of they're not making content to attract anybody. And I don't think that they
Right.
even want to necessarily blow up. Because when you get to a point where you're blowing up, I believe that, and you could tell me this better than I would know. I've been around people like, for example, when I was with Bam and I used to help run his social media, it gets kind of to the point where there's just so many people that you can't really keep track of everything, and some of it gets lost in the cosmos. And it's when you're dealing with a fan base that you can micromanage yourself, I can understand why some artists would not want to blow up, because it just gets too overwhelming. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I literally feel like that right now. I mean, I get all these things like I get, I get messages and emails all the time about all sorts of things like with social media, like, let's do this brand deal, or let's do, I use brand deal very loosely. I mean, like it's not crazy. Like, it's just people that want to, want me to like represent their brand, and like they're not paying very much. But if I was doing this full time, then I would have a lot more time to like do all of that. But I kind of feel that way on my own right now, just because I'm just one guy. I'm doing everything. I'm doing all the videos, I'm doing all the recording, the mixing, the filming. I'm responding to business opportunities. I'm doing all of it myself. And it is a lot. It gets to be a lot. And obviously I'm not like a household name like Bam is, but even I feel that way 100% with the stuff that I've gotten. So it's, at some point when I can get to the point where like I'm living, in my own spot, and, I mean, I have my own spot, I guess, technically right now, but, like once I can, do the videos and the social media stuff full time and not worry about anything else, maybe I can get to a point where I can handle all of that. But even then, maybe not. I really don't know. It's I can't even imagine like what Bam's stuff is like, because I'm sure it's like 10 times more than what I'm dealing with. But even what I'm dealing with is like, it's a lot. Like, just doing it by myself, it's a lot of stuff to worry about and to think about.
Well, that's it. So that's a good point, because for the aspiring, music artists and or content creators, right, today, maybe it's something that they think that they want. It's just like the thing where when you have all the money in the world, people that are super super rich, they're still actually some of the most unhappy people. And people wonder, like, if I get $1 billion in my bank account, I'm going to be the happiest little piglet in the world. And it's like, well, go talk to some of those people, and you'd be surprised. They're actually not necessarily that happy. And when you achieve something where you're going viral on a regular basis, or even a few times, as a music artist specifically, because this is what I love talking to, specifically music artists, right? I don't know much about other aspects, but I know about music. I think that a lot of music artists should think twice about what are they going to do when they do hit that, and what can they expect. So like you're saying, if you're getting all these people viewing your channel, I'm most likely assuming that you're getting lots of spam, people messaging you out of the woodwork, weird messages, business messages, marketing messages, deal collaborations. Like, you're probably getting a lot more than, hey, this is Johnny from Wyoming. I really appreciate your content. Thank you for. It's not only that. It's everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what would you, if you could do it again, if you could start your channel again from the beginning, would you do anything differently, or are you happy with that and you're just okay with dealing with that?
I wouldn't do anything differently. I think, I mean, I'm I'm shocked and surprised every day with like how many people actually give a fuck about what I'm doing. Um, and I've gotten to this point just basically doing whatever the fuck I want to do. And like kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, but like that's really where I'm at. Like uh like you said, like I do get a lot of spam. I do get a lot of any of the Facebook people that are watching right now. There's a lot of fake MacGlocky Facebooks, that are
Okay.
like trying to scam people and stuff, and
Okay. Well,
it is, but like
another
that's just
point.
kind of something that like goes with making content and having it be viewed by a lot of people. Because like I was asking my buddy Anthony Vincent, who makes the same sort of stuff that I do. I asked him like, you know, like I have so many fake people on Facebook that are like, trying to act like they're me, and they're trying to message people and ask for donations and all these things. And I'm like, is there anything I can do? Because I try to, report them, and then nothing happens. And he was basically just like, dude, like I've been doing this for like, 15 years. Like that's just gonna happen all the time. There's nothing you can do. You can try to report them and try to tell, you can tell people once in a while, like, hey, like any account that reaches out to you that's not me, it's not this account. You can try your best to let people know and to warn people, but at the end of the day, like people are going to do what they're going to do, and there's really nothing you can do. And the best thing that you can do is just fucking avoid it and just ignore it. Which I've done that now. I turned off my Facebook Messenger app. I turned it off because I just got all these messages of people like, "Hey, there's this account that's pretending to be you," and I'm just like, I don't really know what to do, man. Like it's fake. I don't know what to do. I don't. I've reported them, but Facebook doesn't do anything about it. But
Well,
it's just I wouldn't do anything different. Like I don't think anything that I would have done differently would make that any different. I think that's just goes with making
yeah,
content.
I
You
think it's
know,
inevitable. It's inevitable if you're going to be in the spotlight. It's inevitable that people are going to come out of the woodwork, whether they're good with good intentions or bad intentions. And it's something that I believe, it seems like you are handling it very well. It takes a very strong willed person to navigate these difficulties when we're talking, and difficulties being uh, an interesting word, because okay, you're not working on the railroad, swinging the pickaxe, trying to build tracks all day. It's not difficult in that aspect, but
sure. Yeah.
mentally, it could be very challenging and difficult to have to that have been with me from the beginning. Some of those followers are now getting hit with these fake accounts, and and little Johnny over here actually donated to my account, and I feel like it's my responsibility, but it's not. You know, like your friend said, like what can you do? Like if somebody wants to do something, we all have to we all have to deal with our situations. Like your fans should also know, like, be careful of scams. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying
Right.
that this happens all the time. But if it does, you know, these are the things. I mean, it's kind of when you're creating music, I think a lot of smaller artists who have smaller accounts, they're not thinking about this per se. They're thinking about just making content that people
Right.
can stick to.
Which they
And
should. They should. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what you should be fucking worrying about. I didn't like I didn't expect to even deal with this ever. Like it was just like, once you get to that point you can deal with it, but yeah, like if you're smaller, like obviously you should just be worrying about like making stuff and just focusing on, making every video better than the last, and yeah, like that's what you should be focusing on. The all the spam bullshit is just like anyone that it's just the fucking internet, dude. Like the internet sucks. It really does. Like it's
it
just
could
that's
be
just
it can
what
be
people
a
deal with on the
weird.
internet.
Yeah, it could be weird. So when you talk about the music now, that you've gotten some videos recently that have done really well. We've touched about it. What is it? What is it that you think? Like, do you think it's the combinations of songs? Of like why would certain videos do better? I mean, is it still? Do you know, or is it something like what do you think?
Honestly, I think that I think the song itself has a lot to do with that. And
Okay.
I mean, maybe the band that I'm imitating, probably has something to do with it, but uh, you know, I've definitely noticed that like the songs that I post where it's like a big smash hit pop song, like those are the ones that like blow up. The last one I did that blew up a lot was It Wasn't Me, Disturbed. That one blew up. Before that, it was like uh what was the last one I did? Probably like making my way down to, I forgot what it's called. Fucking Vanessa Carlton. I did it in corn style. That one blew up a lot. I think just like it's probably just like the metal and a really smash pop song combination is what makes it blow up a lot, because everyone, like a lot of, like pretty much everyone that clicks on the video, like they're gonna know what that song is. And when I do my intro and I'm like, oh, if blah 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 blah, and I explain what I'm gonna do, everyone knows the song and they're basically like, oh, okay, like what is this gonna sound like? Um, I that very different duality sort of thing where it's a metal band doing a really big pop song. Those are the ones that definitely blow up the most. Like the last one I did, I just posted it today. I did if Deftones wrote Lithium by Nirvana, which I'm not expecting that to blow up or anything, but that's just one that I wanted to do, and I know that my core audience will probably really appreciate it and like it a lot. Um, but it's definitely. I never really think about like whether or not it's going to blow up. It's mostly just like if I do have a combination like that where I'm like, there's certain combinations where I'm like, this might blow up, but it's not something that I go into videos and I never do a certain video thinking like, oh, this is going to blow up and I'm doing it because it's going to blow up. It's just kind of like it just works out, dude. Like it just happens that way. Like you can't expect every video to get fucking 10 million views. It just works out that way. I obviously I would love if every video did that well because it would put my name out there a lot more and I would make way more money. But it's I think it's more important to just focus on um, you know serving my core audience, and then once in a while, that video will come up where it's a certain combination and it just fucking explodes, and that's great, you know. And I love that. It's great, but I don't chase it. I think it's really unrealistic to uh, try to make every video that, you know. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I would say that would be something that you could eventually hire like a PR firm to worry about stuff like that if that's what people, I mean, I think people do that. But yeah, like content creation, you know, for music artists is very relevant today, and I'm glad that we were talking about it because I know that there's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of bands that are bigger that also just are looking for the same, you know, everybody's dealing with content creation today. Let's put it that way. And
yeah,
it's
everyone is. Like if you're if you're making anything, like you're dealing with content creation. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a part of it. It's everything now. It really is.
it's everything now, especially short form and or like you have long form as far as like, you know, a whole entire song, 3, 4, 5 minutes long is long form in a way today because everybody's got
Yeah.
such a short attention
Today,
span.
yeah, right, yeah. Today, that's like long form now, yeah.
So it's really interesting, and I love having a podcast like this specifically um, because we can talk for more than 7 seconds, and of course we can get good sound snippets from this for 7 seconds.
Yeah,
This is something that we can go into depth with, and actually, you know, pick each other's brains when it comes to these things. And
sure.
I'm just like I said,
Yeah, and like the last thing that I'll say, I want to say one more thing just about like being a musician specifically, and doing content is like there's so many different types of things you can do. Like, you know, I do the whole like if blah 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 wrote blah 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 shit. Like I do that stuff, which is a certain sector of it. But there's also people that do like tutorials. There's people that do like, oh, this is a really hard scream challenge, and can I do this? And let's see if I can do it. And whether or not they can do it, like the comment section fucking argues about it. There's people that do, you know, just straight up covers of just them doing it. There's people that do, you know, challenges. There's people that, you know, it's a huge. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different avenues you can go with doing content and doing music. And obviously, there's also like doing original stuff, but most of the time that's a whole separate thing. But you know, it's just like, you know, just try stuff out and just experiment. You know, like I never set out like when I started doing content creation, I didn't start out thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do, you know, novelty covers or fantasy covers as I like to call them. I just kind of experimented until I found out that that worked. So then I just kept doing that. Um, you know, that's the last thing I want to say. It's just like there's so many different things you can do. So just fucking experiment.
yeah, yeah, and to talk about that more, it's just we're all music artists are all unique and different. So when one artist does something a certain way, it doesn't represent or mean that you should try to do the same thing. You know,
Right.
continue to be your unique self. And I would say just lean in on what you feel is working. When you post 7 different pieces of content and 6 of them really don't stick, but one of them seems to do well, maybe lean into that and do some more of those and see how that goes. And at
Right.
the end of the day, like if you can't do exactly what you want to do right away, but you can get somewhere and create some sort of like audience and interest, then maybe eventually you can start leaning in towards what you really want to do. I know there's bands that do that all
Right.
the time. There's I can't think of the name of the band. It's a 3-lettered word, but anyway, they had a few huge hit songs in the mid 2000s. No, I'm not talking about CKY actually. No. I'm talking
Hey.
about like a band that was like mainstream that blew up. And I remember the 2 artists that were behind it, they're like, well, today we do what we want. And it's like, well, you don't hear those songs because they're like, yeah, we appeased the record label by giving them hits that people wanted. And I personally like this. I think the hits that I'm referring to are songs that I love, but the band, they're like, no, we hate that music. We did that so we could blow up and make money from the record label. But today, we make music that we want. And they're like, but nobody likes that music. But we're able to do it because we went out of our way to purposely
there's
make...
plenty,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of examples of that. I mean, like, MGMT is a great example
That's
of that.
the band.
MGMT.
That's the
Oh,
band.
is that the band?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It is.
Yeah, dude. I love MGMT. That's one of my favorite bands of all time. Which I love their older stuff. Like, I love the, Electric Feel, Time to Pretend stuff. Like, it's great. But I also love every album they've done since then because they always do something different. And it's always just great songwriting. And yeah, like, exactly. They're like, this blew up, like, in the 2000s. And, like, we've developed a core audience from that. So now we can just basically make whatever we want. And our core audience is going to, check it out. So yeah, like, I think that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I think that I would much rather do that than just like, be controlled by other people telling me like, no, this is what you should make. Like, I love that they just make whatever the fuck they want to make. It's really inspiring. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
That song. What's the band again? MGMT? What is it?
GMT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
think you said a 3-letter word.
Yeah.
It's, so I was like, wait, what?
Something like that. Yeah. But I don't know how you figured out. You were reading my mind.
I don't know.
But
like, well, I just thought like, oh, this is a band that I love. That's the same situation.
Yeah, because I've heard them say that in some interview where I was just like, and then I'm just like, but so another band, an example, because I saw one of the followers on my channel posted something on, they just went to a Hootie and Blowfish concert. And it's like, Hootie and Blowfish is still going strong because they had those huge hits. And I'm sure they have so many songs that I've never heard. But it just goes to show, like, Hootie and Blowfish are on tour, headlining a tour with Collective Soul.
Yeah. That's
right?
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, good for them. Like, again, I give Hootie and Blowfish congratulations. Like, I remember them getting so much crap. Them and Hanson. Remember Hanson?
Yeah. I know my audience knows that I know Hanson for sure. I did a Korn cover of Mbop a little while ago. So, yeah. Like, well, just proves what you were saying. Like, can I name another Hanson song besides Mbop? No, I can't. I can't name a single song. Which that's not like, but they've been able to be a band this whole time, which is fantastic, and they have a core audience. Like, it's amazing. It's
yeah.
It's you really just need one song. You just need that one song. That's all you need.
You just need that one song, or you need to have There's just back then it was having a viral hit. Today it's having viral success doing content creation and becoming known for whatever it is. Maybe this is what I'm thinking. You could agree or disagree, but it's like having some sort of viral success doing something that people love, and then saying, cool, now I'm just going to do what I want. And of course, most likely a lot of your following will drop because they're like, well, but they're still going to be there for the old content that you made that they came to see. You know what I mean? So it's like,
sure, yeah.
Maybe not so much in content creation in general because it might get buried. Like if you make viral videos doing something and you stop doing it, I would assume there will be some traces left, but it's so much different than if you have a viral hit song that people replay over, because people still listen to the Hootie and Blowfish hits. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But if Hootie and Blowfish were content creators in the 90s and it was the same platform as today, I don't think that their content that they created in the 90s would still be relevant because things change so much. But music, the beauty behind music is a hit song is a hit song. And when people listen to it and it inspires them and they want to listen to it over and it brings them back to a place, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we will be saying that viral content today is something that brings you back to a place in 20 years from now, you'll be like, yeah, I remember 2024 when they were making that viral content, and it touches me and it moves me. Maybe we will be saying that. But as far as I know, music does that now. And when you listen to songs from bands that you loved when you were younger or today, you'll always go back to that place that you remember.
Yeah.
I remember where I was when I listened to Van Halen, or when I was listening to Billy Joel and my older brother and I were goofing off in his room. I remember these things, and they'll always stick with me. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, yeah, I think that, no, I totally agree with you. And I think that there's a lot of that sort of thing happening in my fucking, in my comment sections because, it's 2024. I'm doing bands like, I'm doing Deftones, I'm doing fucking
Nirvana,
CKY, I'm doing Alien Ant Farm, and I get in my comments all the time, like I get like, oh my God, this video brought me back to when I was in, high school. And,
that's cool.
I think that very thing is very prevalent in certain sectors of content creation, and I think that that'll probably be a thing. Like when you're saying like, oh, like 20 years from now, are people going to be like affected by like, oh, I remember when I saw that in like 2024, like I think that's still a thing now. I mean, like you look at like, there's like Vine compilation. Like you remember Vine?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I
like
do.
there's compilations of like best vines from 14 or whatever, 2013. And it's people like, those vines have lived on in internet culture, up until this time. Because like if I go like, is there anything better than pussy? Yes, a really good book. Like everyone knows what I'm talking about because of Vine. And I think that's going to continue. I think that's going to continue to be a thing like forever. I really do. Like I think that like it's really cliche and like boomery to say, but like the internet really changed everything. It really did, and that goes for like music content. That goes for like fucking everything. I think
Yeah.
that it's the entire culture of how we consume things is just different now.
And I do say that when I said Rick Beato, but you said Rick Beato. I must have said his name wrong. But anyway, I
Oh, maybe
digress.
maybe I said it wrong.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Maybe you said
I
it right. I
like
don't know.
Beato because it sounds like drums and he's a music guy. But anyway, Rick Beato, it's very interesting, and it's not good to rely on the past as what's going to work and what's not. So I don't like to do that, but I have to exist and realize that I did grow up in a time where I did want to buy an album. That's just my era. That's my age. I'm older. So I do have to reflect to that, but I also want to lean into today and be present. If you want to continue to, if you're a music artist today and you want to be relevant and you want to make music, you have to do what's working for today. You can't just rely on the past. Only a very small niche people can do that, and there are plenty of. I said there's a young lady that's on my channel that I'm thinking about collaborating with because I like the fact that she just doesn't give an F about social media, and she's just the true artist. And it's like that's a very niche thing, and I love it. I love that. But I also love the fact
Yeah.
that people that understand social media today, that lean into what works, I love that too. I love all aspects of creating art, whether it's music and now content creation, because at the end of the day, if you're a content creator, you're an artist also,
Right.
in my opinion. So it's really cool. We're living through some of the best times I think ever. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yes, I love that. That's a great perspective to have on it. I really like that you're very open to it and you just are interested in it because there's a lot of people that are just like, the old ways are the best, and
It's too easy. It's too easy to say the old ways were the
yeah,
best
it's
because
really
that's
easy
the
to
easy
say
way.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I really, and I think that that's one of the reasons why we get along so well is because you're very, obviously you're a lot older than I am, so you have gone through being a musician during the time where none of this was a thing. So, and
Yeah.
when I was starting,
Pre-Napster. I'm pre-Napster, yo.
but no, but when I was starting to get into music, like that was kind of when the online stuff really was starting to be a thing. And, you know, when it started to be a thing where artists could actually rely on it for, you know, for income and for everything else, you know, it was probably a few years after that. But, you know, I think it's really interesting to just to talk to you about that, because you're from a different, you know, you've been in bands for a long time, and you know what it's like to not have any of that at your disposal. And
Yeah.
pretty much I only know what it's like to have that at my
But
disposal. So
I
it's
think to
interesting.
your
It's
point,
cool.
it's just that, like, you can find it interesting to talk to me about that, and we can reflect on certain things and maybe implement certain strategies from then. But for the most part, that's about the most we can really get out of my experience or anybody's experience from the past. It's exactly that. It's their experience from the past, and that's all it is. So what we need to do is do what works today, because we're living in today. And people that want to, again, people that want to say, well, that's that internet stuff or that TikTok thing. It's like, well, TikTok is a music platform last time I checked, right? It's something where if you're a music artist, you should probably be on there doing something. Whether it works or not, whatever, but live today. Live in today. Live thinking about tomorrow if you want to be somebody that's in the game of being a music in the music business, in
Right.
my opinion. I mean, do I know it all? No, obviously not. But I like to try to learn. I like to continue to learn, and I'm interested in what people are doing today. I'm not against it. I find it very fascinating. And again, I congratulate you for doing a job well done and creating your group of people online, and I hope that you continue to grow, and I
Thank you.
hope our podcast continues to grow and people are interested in listening to what the two of us have to say, because I mean, I guess that is another fact that you brought up. I am from a different era, so it is interesting to do, when we do talk, it is interesting to hear our different views.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So,
Yeah. No, yeah, that's absolutely. You know, I have my guitar right here. Do you want to
yeah,
learn
me
that?
too. And my battery is going to die. So if it does die, that'll be the end of the
Oh,
stream. But until
fuck.
then,
All right.
is there something we should play? You're my
Is there,
guitar
well,
teacher guru.
how about you teach me a riff? I always teach you a riff. You teach me something.
I, you caught me like they say, a deer in headlights, because I don't know songs just like you. Like, I don't know songs. I hear them. I hear them.
Yeah.
The one song, the one riff I played it before. It's the
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that song. I know that. That's a cool riff, though. Actually, it's one of my. It's a cool riff, and we're tuned to the same tuning, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Whoa,
Heaven let
living
the
let your
light
lights
shine
down
down.
now. Yeah, that's a good one. And I think that was short story, but who was it? Was it was the drummer from a band called Rudy and Blitz, and
Oh,
Rudy and
yeah.
Blitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a fill-in drummer. I believe his name was Rabbit, and he played, because I have ties through all
That's
these.
Chaz band, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from like the '90s,
Yeah.
and I remember sitting in a room with him back in the day, because he was, my band Inbred needed a fill-in drummer, and we asked Rabbit if he would play a show with us, and he agreed to do it. And I remember him sitting there with his acoustic, thinking like, "What's he doing? He's a drummer. How could he be picking up an acoustic, right?" Which is, I'm a teenager, not thinking right. And that was the song that he played, and I always when the beauty of music, like whenever I hear that song, I think about Rabbit playing that
Right.
song on the acoustic
That,
for,
yeah, you
for
think of
me.
that moment. Yeah.
And what a great, clever song that is. Like, when you talk about Lithium and Nirvana, and you come as you are, like Kurt Cobain was notorious for writing riffs that any college kid at the time, which is what it was, could pick up a guitar and play. You know, any new guitar
Well, right.
player.
It's like it's just duh. Like that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Is like when I it's like stuff that's just like why didn't I think of that?
Why didn't I think of
Yeah, it's
that? And it's so easy to
yeah stuff like
play,
that. It's so
and
easy
it
to
makes
play and it's
sense
so
because
catchy. Yeah.
yeah, if you want the masses to think about going viral, which Nirvana certainly did, when you want the masses, like, do you want to play an Ingve sweeping arpeggio solo, or do you want to go, or do you want to go, you know, whatever? Yeah, you want to do something that's, you want to do both. I guess you want to do
I'm
both.
way more of like I honestly like and this is a whole different fucking conversation, but I appreciate and I respect all the people like online that are fucking like do all this crazy shit where they're hitting the guitar and they're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really impressive and I can't do that and like it's super impressive, but I will always appreciate like a good riff over that, you
True,
know. Because
true.
that's just my thing. Like I'm not saying that one's better than the other, but my personal taste, like I will always pick like a decent, you know, good riff where I'm like, wow, that's a great riff. Where, you know, it could be like three fucking notes, but like
Crazy
a good
Train.
riff is a good riff.
Crazy Train is a cool riff. What's
Right.
another
Yeah.
cool riff that you know that you can just play? I'm trying to think if I know
Um,
any.
um
Well, Running Down a Dream.
God.
Yeah,
Fucking System of a Down. Yeah. Fucking System of a Down.
yeah.
Super like it's basically just all open except for that bottom string, drop C. Super easy. But you know, it's an iconic riff. Like every riff in that song is super iconic. But you know, that's what I'm saying. Like I appreciate that a lot more than just like someone fucking. It's like
I
you're
was I,
using every. What's that?
no, I was going to say because I'm thinking of Tom Petty, and there's a guitar player by the name of Mike Campbell who actually played on many people don't know who this guy's super underrated, but like Running Down a Dream. And like
Oh.
running down a dream.
Oh
You know
yes.
that
Yeah.
song?
Right. Yeah.
So like a lot of the older riffs too, like there was like a lot of, but I do agree, like that riff that you were just playing is a little bit more complicated sounding, but like you said, if it's all open and it's probably, yeah, like you can, there's like a fine line between what's too complicated for somebody to play and what isn't. And I like that System of a Down song. It might be, I didn't play it. I don't know how to play it, but I'm assuming that it's probably once you get it, it's super easy, and but it
Yeah. I
sounds
mean,
way
it's
more complicated than it probably is.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's
I like that too. That's another art for like making a riff that sounds hard, but it's actually not. That's cool too.
right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There's definitely like a really good art with that. Um,
Yeah,
and there's plenty of bands too that make riffs that sound really easy, and they are, but they just fucking slap. Like, you know, Deftones is a great example. There's so many Deftones riffs that are like two notes or three notes, and it's like, you know, okay, that's if I'm in the right tuning, I can probably play that, but it just
yeah.
slaps so fucking hard. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, there's so many facets of interesting things in the music world, and we will get into all of those on a later podcast. But for now, I think we should
Yeah,
end on a good note because I think today was extremely awesome, and I'm
yeah, me
looking
too.
forward to doing this again. Yeah,
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, like, I know it's been a minute. It's just been every weekend I've been going out, but I'm glad that we could hop on again, and we will definitely
Yeah,
do it soon for sure.
for sure. For sure. That's awesome. So let's sign off here. But yeah, thank you for joining us today live. If you were here to watch it live, thank you for all the comments. I have to say I was seeing the scroll of comments, and it's just we didn't get through any of them. It's kind of hard because there's a lot of people watching, and it's difficult to navigate these comments.
Well, we
But thank
could
you all.
we could for a few minutes. We
Well,
could do some
you want to
comments.
before my phone
Oh yeah,
until my phone
your
dies.
phone's gonna die, huh?
Well, no, that's fine. If
Your
you're in
phone's
the
gonna
comments
die.
and if you have
Plug it
something to
in,
say,
bruh. Plug in your
now's
phone, bruh.
I have it plugged in, brah, but it's but my laptop is dying, and now it's like I'm fighting my dying laptop and my dying phone, brah. No worries,
It's all
brah.
good, dude.
Yeah. But hey, who's in the chats that has a question before we play the game of phone roulette when my phone dies? Ricky
If
Slayer,
CKY wrote "Headstrong" by Trapped.
Ricky
I
Slayer,
don't.
legend.
Ricky, yeah, Ricky's a legend. We love Ricky.
I love when
I
you say that.
that would be funny. Yeah,
Okay.
I would have to think about that one, but that would be very funny. Will you tour? Eventually, yes, I will tour. Uh, I don't have the means to tour right now, but I will within the next couple of years or so. I will be
No,
touring.
no questions, but it's been great listening to you guys chat. Deftones wrote anything
Thank you,
by
Kelly.
Breaking
Thank you.
Benjamin. I
If
say
Deftones
Mac.
wrote anything by Breaking Benjamin, yeah, I've gotten that a lot. I've gotten that a fuck ton of times. I'm not super familiar with Breaking Benjamin, so I would have to figure it out. Put Florida on your list. Yes, I will. I promise I will. I expect to see you there. Um, I've been asking for a while, requesting you to do Things That Go Bump in the Night by All Stars in the style of Seether. That's super niche. That's super niche. I fuck with that. That's dope.
Okay.
Um,
So that's cool.
yeah,
So you can inspire Mac by do you get ideas? That's a good question. Do you get ideas from the comments, like when people say like, "Hey, you should do this"? Does that help your decision making at
oh
all or
yeah,
no?
dude. That's like all that I do, man. Like
Okay.
I do the stories and people send me songs or I'll just pull from the comments, I always do that. I always do that shit. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, you know. People come up
Yeah.
with some weird ass fucking shit. I'm like, let's try it. Let's try it out. Um,
What else? Anybody else got something? Any questions before
any
we go?
questions? Anyone got any
Who's got a
questions? What's going on?
question, yo?
Before we pop off here, who's got
Before
some
we pop
questions?
off, dude. I know the street slang, yo. From
I don't know. I don't know. That might just, I don't know, man.
Oh
Um,
man, did I just do that? Okay, so no questions, huh? All right, that's
all
fun.
right.
Well, this was a great nightcap. Do you
Yeah,
like metal?
that's,
Do you like metal?
um,
I Mac, you can answer that
I
question. Do
enjoy
you
metal.
like Scooby
I
Doo
enjoy
Bonjour?
metal. I mean, I don't really listen to a lot of I don't really listen to like purist metal. I listen to a lot of things that are like metal inspired. Um, you know, like a lot of people would consider Korn not a metal band. It's like metal because it's like new metal.
Yeah,
Same thing with like
new metal.
Deftones and but there's like or like Seven Dust. I love Seven Dust. Seven Dust definitely has metal tendencies, but I
Mm,
would probably consider them like like a hard rock band, not really metal. But yeah, that's a broad question. It's a very broad question. It kind of just depends on like what your definition of metal is.
see, when I think of that question, I think of the metal fans, and I have different thoughts. But generally, it's interesting because metal fans, like compared to other fans, are actually some of the nicest, best people.
Oh, they are for sure. 100%.
You know, if you go to
Absolutely.
a rap concert, like you can expect to get stabbed or shot, but if you go to a metal show and you fall in the pit, you can expect everybody to help you up. You know, it's interesting.
I've never been to a rap show, so I
Neither
don't
have
really
I, but
know.
I've only heard
Um,
stories.
yeah, well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have gotten stabbed at metal shows too.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean,
great.
I remember
That's
I was watching Stained live with my girlfriend at the time, and there was a pit like right next to it. I think it was during For You. They were playing For You, and there was a pit right next to us, and we were kind of trying to like, oh, we're just kind of trying to watch the show, and like we're trying to like not be involved in the fucking massive pit. And someone came by and just clocked my girlfriend at the time in the fucking eye, and you know, she was super small, like super tiny chick, and you know, he just stopped in the middle of the mosh pit, like, oh my god, like, are you okay? And like we brought her away, and I was like, you know, she tried to fight him, but we were like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're just gonna like give you some medical attention and everything. But yeah, it was, you know, it was a very supportive and chill vibe. Like they immediately were like making sure she was okay. But I hope it's like that at every sort of show. You know, obviously I haven't been to every type of concert, but I would hope that it's like that everywhere, because if you don't do
yeah.
that, then you're kind of a dick.
No, I guess because of the stigma of when people, and we'll end on this note, but like when people think when they think about metal, they think about Ozzy biting the heads off bats or people singing about like, you know, horrible things. So in a way, like right away, people are like, oh my God. But then like if you go to a Taylor Swift concert, you can get like the jocks that are all kind of drunk with the muscles being like, yo, don't look at my girlfriend like that. And like you could probably see more
Sure.
fighting at a Taylor Swift song concert than at a metal concert. That's kind of what I'm kind of referring to.
No, I got you.
Yo, man, like, don't look at my girlfriend like that, man.
No, I got you. That's for
All
sure.
right,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, hey, let's end it here, and we will catch up again. Thank you all for joining. We will see you on the next stream. Rock and roll. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Peace.